Hi, this is Mary again. I'm going to be telling you about Spanish Club at Memorial Elementary School. So today's topic will be clothing. Okay, so as I said before, we're going to be going over clothing today. So as always, I would start off with the vocabulary list that you can see in front of you. So we have the words clothing, shirt, sweater, sweatpants, jacket, pants, jeans, shorts, socks, shoes, flip-flops, boots, and hat. So I tried to choose words that they could find on themselves with clothing. Um, because it's spring, you never know what the weather will be like, so that's why I have shorts and jeans, like boots, shoes, flip flops, just so there's some variety in there. So it's not all also just focused on one season. And then under that, we're going to be looking at the verb llevar today, which means to wear in Spanish. So I put the different conjugations of that. So we have I wear, llevo, llevas, you wear, lleva, he or she wears, llevamos, we wear, and llevan, they wear. I've done a little bit with them regarding grammar, but I haven't necessarily gone over like the verb endings because of conjugation, so I'll try to touch on that a little bit and see how they do because we will be working a lot with the I form, which is yo, and as well as the he, she form, the ella form of lleva. And then under that, we have cuánto cuestan for how much is it, because we have an activity that may use that today. And then some other clothing descriptors are polka dot, stripes, and multicolored. So we'll go over that. The only letters that we'd really go over would be the R with rolling your R, the J in jeans, how you say jeans instead of jeans, how the difference with that. And then the double L, of course, as we always do with the example of tortilla chips. And then at the bottom, you can see we have our colors with the boxes. So with this, we're going to be using our colors today, and we've already gone over our colors. It's what we did at our first meeting, and then we revisited it a bit when we were doing body parts, when we were talking about like our hair color and our eye color. So we'll just go over this again. I'll have the setup of like, does anybody remember what rojo is? And then like wait for them. Like, okay, color the box next to it red, and just keep going because we're going to be using colors when talking about clothing, and just having a nice visual of having the color next to the Spanish word will hopefully make it a little bit faster for them recognizing which color is which, rather than having them go back to their star sheet that has the colors from the first week and just looking at the English word and the Spanish word. Okay, so then the next activity after that, following our normal routine, is a song. So the song is called Ponte, which means you put on. So the song is Ponte, and then when you see the words next to it in parentheses, that's the echo. So the leader of the song would say Ponte, and then the echo group or person would say Ponte after that, which means like you put on. So it's like the song is, the translation is you put on the shirt, put the shirt on, please, cha cha cha. So, I'll sing the part just so you can get the tune of it. I'm not sure what the actual tune is, but it goes through, it practices our 4 vocabulary words of la camisa, the shirt, la chaqueta, the jacket, los pantalones, the pants, and los zapatos, the shoes. So it's ponte, ponte, la camisa, ponte la camisa, por favor, cha cha cha. Ponte, ponte, la chaqueta, ponte la chaqueta, por favor, cha cha cha. So those are the first 2 parts. So just like we did last week, we would go line by line, and then we would do each like group at a time before singing it all together. And then, so to mix it up, first I would be the leader. We would sing it 2 times through. And then after that, we would switch, so then they would be the leader and I would be the echo, so they have to sing it correctly so I know how to follow them. And then after that, I would break them up. How last week I did like the left half and the right half, I would probably do the front of the room versus the back of the room. Or if the numbers aren't very even, depending on how many people are there, I might just like point to certain tables and be like, okay, if I pointed to you, you're in group 1, so you're going to be the leader group. And then if I pointed to you, then you guys are going to be the echo group. Just something like that, so they can practice these words. Ponte as well is a clothing vocabulary word, and then just so they can get the consistency of what the words sound like, as well as words like por favor, just because that means like please, so it's a pretty common word. Alright, so before starting this next activity, to mix the groups up a little bit, because we're going to be doing a small group activity, I would have them try to find 2 other people that have the same clothing as them. So be like, okay, like if I'm wearing a red shirt today, I'm going to try to find 2 other people that also have a red shirt. If I can't find anybody else, then I'm going to look at my pants. Oh, I'm wearing blue pants. So I want to try to find 2 other people that are wearing blue pants. And then once I found my people, we're all going to pick a table to sit at together. So I'm going to give them time to find people that are dressed similarly to them. And then once they're all sitting down, I'll be like, okay, so I'm going to come around and ask each group what they have in common. So make sure you have the Spanish version of that. So then that would give them time to be like, oh, we're the pantalones negros group, or we're the zapatos violetos group. Just so they can also practice using the word while finding new people to work with, because a lot of the times, because it's the mixed grade classroom, they tend to only stick with the people from their homeroom class or the people in the grades that they know, just so we can get some variety with our project for today. Okay, so the worksheet you see in front of you is called Que Llevas, so what do you wear? So then it breaks down the seasons into different categories. So the first category is in the spring you wear, then it goes in the summer you wear, in the fall you wear, and in the winter you wear. So I put little icons that kind of go with the seasons to give them a hint of what it may be, just because we did learn the seasons last week, but it's been a whole week since we've seen them, and they're not necessarily looking at their words between meetings, so I wouldn't expect them to know that. So if they don't go back to their star sheet, this gives them a little bit of a guess before they do that or before they ask me. So with this, I'd give them some time to look at the list of vocabulary words, and they can write down different articles of clothing that they think go with the season. So like you'd wear a jacket and boots and maybe jeans or pants in the winter, but over the summertime you're going to be wearing shorts and a shirt and flip-flops. So just so they can work with that. And then because they're working with new people, I'd have them share their answers with the group, and then to go over it as a class, I would tell it like a story. So I'd be like, okay, so in the springtime, I'm looking for clothes to wear. What do you guys think I should wear? So like first I'll put on and then call on somebody for them to say the clothing, and then just keep going until nobody has any other clothing items left that match with that specific season. So then I'd be like, okay, so now it's getting warmer out. It's summertime. Over the summer, I wear different clothing in the spring. First I wear, and then just keep going like that. So there's a little bit more of an authentic application for it, and just so it's a little different. This is obviously not as hands-on as usual, but they still get to share their answers, and hopefully it's a little interesting. If it's not as interesting, then I'll just switch it over to see what they put down. Okay, so our main activity for the day is having a fashion show. So they're going to be working in the groups of 3 from when they found somebody wearing similar clothing to them. So there will be 3 roles for the group. There will be a model, a director, and an announcer. So the model will be the person that the group is describing their clothing. The director will be the person that says luces, camera, acción, which is lights, camera, action, before the model starts walking down. And the announcer will be the person describing the outfit. So for this, I'll explain what we're doing, and I'll be like, okay, take some time in your group to figure out which role you want. So then I'll give them about 30 seconds to a minute-ish to come up with this, and then I'll be like, okay, raise your hand if you're the model of the group. Okay, raise your hand if you're the director of the group. Raise your hand if you're the announcer of the group. And typically there's 19 kids. So if one of them's absent, then we'd have 18, so then we'd have 6 groups of 3. But if everybody is there, then there would just be a 4th person in the group, so there can be 2 announcers. So once the roles have been decided, I'll explain the directions and then let them go to work on their project. So as the directions on the paper say, each person in the group will say at least one description about the model's outfit in Spanish in a complete sentence. As a group, you will write these down on your script so the announcer knows what they're saying. So everybody will have a copy of this, so even if they're not the announcer or one of the announcers, they still have a copy of everything that's said. So on the first part, you'll see there's group blank, so they can come up with the group name, or they can just use the group of how they found their outfits to be similar. So they could be like the red shirt group, like La Camisa Roja group, or they can just be like the flower group or something like that. It's up to them what they want to do. So then after that, they have to come up with their what they're going to be saying as the announcer. So I gave them kind of an outline. So they can do one of the greetings. So this is what we learned back on our first day of the club. So they can choose hola, which is hi, bienvenidos, which is welcome, or buenas tardes, good afternoon, because it's good afternoon. So they'll circle which one of the greeting words they want to use. And then the next line is el/la modelo se llama blank. So once they choose the model, they'll write their model name in here, and they'll circle el or la. So if it's a boy, they'll circle el and they'll say el modelo se llama. But if it's a girl, they'll circle la and say la modelo se llama. So then after that, this is where I kind of gave them the outline of what they should be saying. So the line says the model is wearing. So el modelo lleva. And then they can write what the group's wearing. So they could say calcetines blancas. So they're wearing white socks. Or they can say la camisa rosa for like the pink shirt. So they can choose like the different elements of what they're saying. So then when the person that's the model is walking, then this is what the announcer is wearing, like what the announcer is saying. So it can be like, today's model is named Mary. The model is wearing a pink shirt. The model is wearing white socks. So that would kind of be the format of that. And then below I said, even if you're not the announcer, you still need to write down what your group is saying for the script. So then this is so they all can practice writing as well as practice just applying the vocabulary and the colors to what we're learning. The only thing with this that I need to explain is with gender and matching up. So if the article of clothing, the article of clothing goes before the color. So if it's a pink shirt, you would say shirt pink. But because the word shirt, camisa, ends in an A, then the color needs to end in an A. So I couldn't say camisa rojo. I'd have to say camisa roja. So I just explained that as I was going over the directions, and then I'll go around and check their work before they do the presentation. So this is kind of the format of that. I'll probably give them like 5 to 10 minutes depending on how long it takes, because they are all just coming up with one line, but also there's some translating, and it'll obviously take them a little bit more time because they're working with different people. Okay, so during the presentations, each group will present once everybody's finished by going up and then saying luces, camera, acción for lights, camera, action, and then the model will start walking. Whoever the model is will walk across the front of the room and then walk through the aisle of the tables and then walk back to the front of the room and then walk towards the library door for their little runway. So as they're doing that, the rest of the group will become the audience. So I'll read, this is the activity sheet I would give them while people are presenting. So it says, when your group is not presenting, you will become part of the audience. The audience is filled with reporters who need to explain what the new fashion trends are to the public by drawing a description of the new trends. Make sure you pay attention to different models so you can answer questions after the show. So just so they're paying attention to what their peers are saying, they would do a drawing of what the person's wearing. So it can just be something super simple, or they can do something to show what the color of the clothing is, just so there's something that's making them pay attention, just so they're not dazing off or trying to do other work. So this sheet is double-sided, so this is the first side that says the directions, and then it says group blank, so each group will say their name before they present, and then under that it says the model is wearing, so this is where they can write like camisa negra, pantalones cortos for like gray shirt, shorts, something, so they're keeping track, and then there's a little square where they can draw, so they can kind of choose what they want to do. For the most part, I would say it'll just be like a very short drawing, and then afterwards, if I have extra time, or it seems like they want to answer questions, or like I don't think people were paying attention, then I can say like, okay, going back to group 1, this was the red shirt group. Can somebody tell me what the model was wearing? Like, que fue la modela lleva? Just to ask them questions so they can use what they did during the activity to answer them. So then this is just the back of that activity sheet because there's 6 groups. So then the group that's going, and then the 5 other groups, so they're not trying to fill out a section for their own group. So then after that, with whatever remaining time there is, just because I'm not sure, like in the classroom, how long this would take, there's a game called Cuánto Cuestan. So that's a phrase they learned on their vocabulary sheet, which is how much is it? So it's this game I found where you're saying different types of clothing, and then if the students are wearing that clothing, then they get points for that. So it's like if you're wearing si llevas pantalones cortos, you get 20 points. If you're wearing los jeans, you get 25 points. If your pantalones cortos are jeans, you get both of those points. If you're wearing si llevas una camisa negra, you get 15 points. So they're trying to think like, oh, am I wearing shorts? Okay, I get 20 points. Am I wearing jeans? Oh, I get 25 points. And then so at the end you say, ¿Cuánto cuesta tu ropa? So that's saying, so how much was your clothing? So then they can raise their hand and say, like, if they only got 20 points for that round, or if they got 45 points. So it's just a little extension activity to fill up however much time we have, where they're still getting to practice the words and then looking at their own outfits, because we looked more at the model's outfit, so if they weren't the model, they didn't necessarily get to look that much in depth at their clothing. So round 2 would be if you're wearing calcetines negro o blancos. So if you're wearing white socks or black socks, you get 15 points. If you're wearing calcetines multicolores, you get 20 points. And if you're wearing 2 calcetines diferentes, or 2 calcetines different, so 2 different socks, you get 20 points. ¿Cuánto cuesta tu ropa? So that's just looking at their socks. So it's like if you're wearing black or white socks, you get 15 points. If you're wearing multicolored socks, you get 20 points. And if you're wearing 2 different types of socks, you get 20 points. How much is your clothing? So it's just kind of the same thing. So this is an activity that can go on longer if it needs to, or it can easily be cut because there's not really much prep to go with it. It's just coming up with 3 different clothing options that an elementary schooler would wear, and then having them see who gets the most. And then as always, I would give them their star sheet to put in their folder before they went home. It has all the words we went over today, and then I also have like clothing sizes, small, medium, and large, just because it kind of goes with like the how much is it and with clothing, just in case they were curious about those vocabulary words.